Welcome back to my channel. My name is Breana Marin. Today we're going to be working on this section of this song.
We'll get there. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
So this is the first of many episodes of a brand new series I've been wanting to bring to you called In Real Time. In this series, we're going to be diving into all the tools, resources, and different plugins that we've been talking about across all these videos, but in real time. So before we get started on today's song, I wanted to bring you up to speed on what is actually happening. I'm currently finishing up an album. Not only will I be releasing it, but I use it a lot to pitch for TV film sync opportunities. So that's what we have going on here. The album is going to be called Rare Seeds. It's mainly produced by Dream Life Beats. It's got a very positive, uplifting, chill R&B kind of vibe. So in a perfect world, I would have began filming this series when I began creating the album. Unfortunately, I didn't really think about that until I had gotten pretty far into the process. So I say better late than never. Welcome to the party. I'm glad that we're hanging out again. I think this will be a great way for us to learn and grow together. One of my favorite ways to breathe some life into a song is to chop up vocals. I've always been really into atmospheric, chill music that is majority instrumental and has some cool vocal elements happening every now and again. So sometimes I like to have a moment like that in my own songs.
Rare seeds blossom, 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 when your heart is open.
So for this particular record, which is actually called Rare Seeds, like the album, I wrote 2 verses and the hook, and then I'm not really a huge fan of writing bridges, not like a traditional R&B bridge. I recorded random vocals that still fit the overall theme of the song, but I full on created this like fake section where I added some ad-libs. Some of the ad-libs I added background vocals to, harmonies, the whole full-on thing. And then I exported it into Logic and chopped the vocals up in Arcade. Okay, so as you can see here, I recorded some random vocals. I'll let you listen to it a cappella really quickly. And I did background vocals, and I didn't go crazy, but...
Rare seeds blossom. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Do. Yeah. And you will get there.
I wanted to quickly show you how I exported my vocals to be imported into Logic. I created a folder called Vocal Chops, and I literally exported a full acapella of the entire song. Now, do you have to export your vocals from your DAW to a whole new DAW to do this? No, you don't have to do that. I haven't set up my Pro Tools to work seamlessly with my keyboard and such the way I have with Logic, and I'm just being ridiculous and not following through with the process. Because also I just prefer Logic to add elements to a beat. I don't know, it's a psychological thing. Let me live, it's how I am. This time I purposely wanted to export the entire song so that I could just see what would happen by chance if the whole song was chopped up into a million pieces. And then I also exported that special section of the new vocals that I created specifically to be chopped, just in case I wanted to cut to the chase and just get to the special part. Because, you know, sometimes it's not always dope to have the whole entire song. But just so you can see the export.
Ooh, yeah.
So you see, it's all those random vocals I played for you earlier, just exported in a beautiful WAV file, and I exported it as a 24-bit WAV file. So I imported the instrumental into Logic. You know, I set up the BPM, I set up the key. Now let's just jump over to Arcade. I'm gonna create a new track for us to play on. Let's just put it at the top, and I'm gonna call it New One. And let's make it a different picture so I don't get mixed up. Let's just go with that, so then I know for sure. So we got Arcade. It's already open, and I've already been obviously messing with this, as you can see.
Follow your devotion, follow your devotion, yeah.
But I'll show you how we got to this point, just for the sake of fun. So you're gonna come over to your stuff, and it's so simple. You just drag and drop your own samples. So as you can see, I've already dropped in, where is it? Oh, did I delete it already? Oh, okay. Random vocals is the Rare Seeds mini section that I told you about. So let's generate a new kit off of this. So this is, like I said, just that small section we created literally to be chopped. We have all these different effects presets that we can use, which I love toying with, but honestly, I always end up using Modern Lift, even though I think some of the other ones are so cool. And I always toggle between standard and chopped. Sometimes I really like what chopped has going on, and sometimes I just like, you know, the regular schmegular. Let's toy around on the keyboard and see what we've got.
You will get there. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I like to, okay, well, let's pretend we like this kit, because I actually do. So when you find something you like,
Yeah, yeah. Follow your devotion.
I like that one, so I'm gonna click edit. And in here you can get crazy. I like to turn on snap to grid, just because then you can come over here to where all the notes are. I usually go to 1/64, 1/64, whatever you want to call it. I don't freaking know. Because you can get like close cuts, but it's still like on the grid, just in case like there's a part that's like bugging you.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
Now I cut out that weird, you know, there was like a weird in front, like, and I didn't like it. So now right when I hit it,
Follow your devotion.
it goes right to where it's supposed to go. Love that. You can change the panning, the volume level. I like to go over to advanced, and sometimes if it's not already offering me a pitch control situation, I come over here and I turn this on by clicking sync. And then you can play around with the formant, which I like to do. So as you see so earlier when I was turning up the knob that said hype, it was going higher and higher and higher. Or like, it was just kind of making it sound more chipmunky, which is dope. But sometimes I want it to sound more like broke downy. So to do that, I'm going to turn the formant down a little bit, and I'll play around with it so you can hear it. And I keep reaching over because my keyboard is behind me. So yeah.
Follow your devotion.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
Follow your devotion.
Follow your devotion.
Follow your devotion.
Yeah, so that kind of gives you an idea. You can also change the timing of it. You can do a lot of things. Sometimes if you mess with the speed, you can go like half time or like triple, double, whatever. It's your world. I'm just living in it. You can turn on filters over here. You can do all kinds of things. You can frickin' go crazy. I don't think I've even updated this yet. Probably because my computer is running on such an old software. I don't even know if I could have the latest and greatest version of Arcade, but I sure will try next time you see me. Hopefully I will have an updated version. But yeah, you know, we've gone over it before because we all know I love Arcade. I will show you a million different ways to use it. But let's listen to what I actually did, if I didn't delete everything. This is what I actually did. I did make a little intro situation with some of those random vocals. Here it is. Let me turn on the instrumental.
You will get there. You will get there. Yeah, yeah.
to make my chopped vocals blend a little better into the song, there's usually a few different avenues I will go down. I like adding filter effects. I like playing with panning and movement to kind of get them going in different directions. I love playing with reverbs and delays.
Pitch shifting.
Sometimes I even go as far as making customizations to the actual track itself. I usually do a pretty good job of like putting different effects on while I'm in Arcade, but sometimes just putting those effects on and then plopping them back into the track isn't enough to make it mesh and synergize together. So I do a couple of extra things to make it blend better with the rest of the song. Okay, so we've did our thing in Logic, played around with Arcade, dropped my chopped vocals into Pro Tools. I bypassed all the plugins that I had already added to them just so you could hear what it sounded like before I tinkered with them even more, minus a little bit of panning.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
Yeah.
Follow your devotion.
Rain seeds blossom.
Okay, so the drums are kind of doing some wonky things because I've been tinkering around with them. I actually muted both of these to try to make a special moment happen, to make it feel a little different. So I'll let you hear what it sounds like with those drums that went a little crazy a second ago.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
Yeah.
Follow your devotion.
Rain seeds blossom.
So just making that simple change of muting those drums made it automatically kind of feel like a fake bridge, I guess, if you will. It just, dynamics. We're giving dynamics. So that's just that one simple change. I wanted to put even more movement and make it feel even more cohesive. So I did add the Simplon Fab filter on this section right here.
Follow your devotion.
So very subtle.
Follow your devotion.
It just kind of made it stand out a little bit more.
Follow your devotion.
This is without it.
Follow your devotion.
With it.
Follow your devotion.
But in context.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
So when you don't have it, it just kind of feels a little bit more muddy to me. Like I said, it's a very subtle filter because I had already put so many effects on it in Arcade in the first place. But, dropping it back in here and seeing it through the scheme of things, I just felt like we needed to cut off a little bit of the low end just to let it breathe a little bit. So that's all I did on that line. I didn't do anything too wild there. Let's jump down here and listen to this in context without any of the plugins that I added onto it.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
Okay, very basic stuff. I panned it 97-97 because sometimes I just feel like when everything is 100-100, everything's competing in that 100 space. You know what I'm saying? Like we all in 100 yelling. So I just feel like when possible, sometimes I just try to take up different parts of the stereo field. So I moved this one to 97-97, very subtle, but I did add the Antares Sybil because it was feeling very Sybil to me. So I just cut off a few little things here. Let's turn it off, listen to it without it.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
So you can kind of hear that Sybil is really getting that shh, follow your devotion. It's like really taming it down because I was sounding a little crazy there. I don't want to be sounding like that. One more time.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
Major difference on there. And I didn't really do anything too crazy on this. I just tried to mess around with which frequencies I thought the shh was coming from, which apparently it's coming from this 12,530 range. So let's turn that on. GW VoiceCentric is one of my favorite plugins. I put it on everything just because why would you not? I turned on the doubler. This little intensity thing, to me, it kind of works like a compressor. Like, I'm sure there's all kinds of magical, mystical things happening within this knob, but you definitely can hear and feel the compression happening. Okay, and I just like it. It kind of helps tame things and also like bring volume, but also not bring volume. It gives it a nice tone. I'm sure I'm making 0 sense, but when you feel it, you feel it. So I just added a little bit of that on there. I wanted it to have that little doubler vibe. I'll let you hear it with Avox Sybil and GW VoiceCentric.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
So you can immediately hear every time I turn VoiceCentric on, there was just like some presence that really was starting to shine through, but it was very controlled, nice vibey presence. Okay, and so next on that same track, the Follow Your Devotion track, I also added Panman, one of my favorite things from Soundtoys. Panman, it just automatically, whenever you need like more movement and dance happening in your track, it's gonna give it to you. I will let you hear it without Panman, and then I'm gonna let you hear it with Panman. Mind you, if you don't have headphones on right now, or if you're not listening on like studio monitors, these changes might sound like nothing is happening. So do yourself a favor and put on the right equipment.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
I love that. So it's just another subtle effect that you can do that will just have your listeners' ears on a whole entire journey with you. You're whispering sweet nothings into each ear, moving from side to side, chilling in the middle, rather than just having one stagnant vocal, especially because I didn't add a lot of vocal chops, but sometimes I really throw a lot in there. So when you have a lot of things going on, it's just kind of nice to like give everybody their own shining moment. I think the only other one that I added something to was this one. And I feel like I just added a compressor because I think it was just kind of doing its own thing. You can kind of even see here, it's like these are really quiet and this was kind of loud. Let's hear it with. So it's just kind of like bringing the two, the yeah, and the yeah. It's just kind of like bringing them here, for me at least. It wasn't the end of the world if I didn't add this, but I wanted it there, so that's what I got. So let's hear all of this in context. And just as a quick review, what we did was we went to the track stems, we muted these two drums right here that were, to me, it was making me feel like we were still kind of in the hook, like nothing had really changed, there's no new moment. So we just dropped that out so that the vocals can have like a moment to shine. And then when the drums come back in, it's a little more impactful and it feels different again. Let's listen to this section with our Panman, our filters, Sybil, all the things. And this time I'll give you a better loop.
Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion. Follow your devotion.
When seeds blossom.
So I think that we've gotten to a pretty good stopping point for part 1 of this video. If you like videos like this, be sure to comment below, like, and subscribe so that you will not miss part 2 of our lovely series in real time. I'm so excited to chat with you again soon. Until next time, peace.
I used to believe